What is up, XRP community? Hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you're having a great Sunday. A lot of stuff going on in the general economy. Let's hop right into the information. So I first want to lead with this quote right here. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. I know it's not crypto related, but sometimes real life stuff is more important than this industry that we're in called cryptocurrency. I know this is kind of a cliche saying, believe and you can achieve. But ultimately in life, besides becoming a pro athlete, if you're watching this YouTube video, we're probably not going to become pro athletes. But besides that, any skill, anything you want to build, you can truly do that. But until you've actually taken that risk and everyone's doubted you and you've had a vision, you've committed to that vision and you've succeeded, it really means nothing to you. But this is one of the most ultimate truths. It's one of the truths I live by. Whatever you want to do, I don't care how old you are, it's never too late unless you believe it's too late, unless you don't have the vision. So at all costs, believe in yourself because no one else in this universe really will. A little bit of price analysis. XRP is not looking too bad, but ultimately there's too much going on in the economy. Unless this lawsuit wraps up and there's regulatory clarity, we're not going to see any crazy short-term pumps on XRP in my opinion. Some stuff about MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one of the most prestigious universities in the world. This is an article from 2016, how MIT is using Ripple to push blockchain research beyond theory. As part of the research which is currently being conducted by 7 students and professors, MIT is running a validator for the Ripple consensus ledger, its permissioned distributed ledger system. The validator is a server that confirms transactions on the network. So while Gary Gensler was working at MIT was involved with the Ripple consensus ledger, running one of the first validators, helping this network confirm transactions. Going back to early 2015, MIT has been involved in blockchain tech, most directly through its support of Bitcoin development through its digital currency initiative. Last month, the MIT Digital Currency Initiative helped raise $1 million to support Bitcoin developers. MIT's decision to use Ripple over other alternatives was in part to what Schreier called the startup being very well positioned in finance. He added that the university is also interested in exploring other different flavors of the blockchain. And I bring up this MIT information because there's a great tweet from Nerd Nation. And if you guys use Twitter, and only if you use Twitter, I have my Twitter on the bottom of the screen, as you can see. Give me a follow on Twitter. It's the best spot to contact me, tweet at me. And I post a lot of information that you necessarily won't find on my videos or breaking news that might come in a video a few hours later. So if you use Twitter, link is in the video description below. He says, Gary, don't forget your previous employer, MIT, used to help validate transactions. And he links an article, what I was just talking about right here. As always, guys, we give away $10 in XRP on the channel. To enter the giveaway, just like the video, subscribe, and notifications on, and comment anything in the YouTube comments below. The winner from yesterday is in the video description below. Moving forward, a progress report on XRP. This 40-cent range that typically was resistance throughout the past year and a half is now looking like it's support, as we have this massive green candle breaking through this range. And what happens when you have a massive candle and it breaks through a resistance level? It usually goes back to that resistance level and it asks the price chart, hey, is this still resistance or is it now support? You're bouncing off this moving average and we're back above this area of resistance. But ultimately, guys, if Bitcoin dumps, I don't think XRP is going to hold up super well. That's just how the markets work right now. The positive externality, the black swan event positively outside of the markets that could help XRP, though, is this lawsuit. All right. If you guys need a spot to get XRP, I recommend Uphold. It's sleek, it's simple, it's secure. It's where I dollar cost average and buy my XRP every single day. A link to Uphold's in the video description below. And a great offer here from Webull. If you want $41 guaranteed, sign up with Webull, deposit a penny. You can get up to $3,000 in free stocks. Now, typically, you just get $40 to $300, but it's a great offer just for signing up, depositing a penny. You're guaranteed $41 in minimum stock value. Sell your stocks, close your account, do whatever you want, but don't miss out on this great offer. It does end soon. A link is in the video description below, and I think you need to be in the USA. This was very alarming to me. But first off, a question from Zach Rector. Will one XRP ever be worth more than 1 ounce of gold? An ounce of gold is about $2,000 right now. What do you think? I'm going to be a bullish moon boy here. $2,000 XRP price is crazy to think about. But at the end of the day, what has more utility in this digitized future world where everything is going to be tokenized? Yes, gold has a lot of value. Precious metals have a lot of value during inflation. But leave me a comment in the comment section below. Do you think XRP has the potential to be worth more than 1 ounce of gold? And this was alarming to me. In 2020, the reserve requirement ratio was set to 0. This means that when a bank gets a deposit from you or me, they usually have to hold a certain ratio of that deposit before they lend out the rest for the fractional reserve banking system. I did not know that the reserve requirement ratio, pardon me, was set to 0. Okay, it's the percentage of customer deposits that commercial banks must store within its own institution. Now, in my opinion, the way banking should work, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if you disagree, I believe that banks should hold 100% of the capital that you put there. Now, it'd be hard for banks to turn a profit, but at the end of the day, what we've experienced in the past 50 years since getting off the gold standard is this runaway of global debt, money printing, and fractional reserve lending and banking. And I think it's a terrible system. And this Twitter thread really sums it up perfectly. Raoul Pal, very, very successful investor. Basically, he says, to understand why more cowbell is how the world works now. More cowbell is kind of a meme, but it summarizes how the economy works. You need to understand the magic formula. GDP growth equals population growth plus productivity growth plus debt growth. And guys, pause really quick in the video. I just want to say thank you for watching my channel. This is the best month I've had on YouTube. The other day, we got a few hundred more subscribers. So if you're new to the channel, thank you for being here. When you guys smash the like button, when you subscribe, it gives me feedback. It lets me know that the content I'm putting out is valuable. And if the numbers aren't there, I go back to the video, I reanalyze, I see what I did wrong. Was it boring? Was it not informative? So thank you guys for rocking with the channel. I just wanted to say a genuine appreciation message because without you guys, this channel is nothing. Real GDP growth is the economic activity that creates cash flows that are invested, saved, or services debt at an economy-wide level. It's too long of an explanation on Twitter, but the magic formula explains why the trend rate of GDP is only 1.75% and falling. That 1.75% first goes to service the U.S. debt costs that take priority over savings or investments. But the U.S. economy is 220% of GDP in total debt. This is not good. Thus, if interest rates average at 2%, then interest payments equate to 4.4% of the GDP. Our interest payments on our debt exceed the GDP, giving negative GDP growth compounding at negative 2.65% per year. The higher the interest costs, the more negative the GDP would be. And do you guys think our interest payments on our debt are going down anytime soon? Are we going to pay this tens of trillion dollars of debt off? But to cover their costs, the government issues more debt, and 3.5 years later, when it comes up for refinance, and remember this 3.5 years number, the debt is monetized via quantitative easing, leaving GDP growth to cover the private sector debt payments alone. Without quantitative easing, there is not enough cash flow to service system-wide debts. And that brings me to this tweet that I made just a few minutes ago. Have you guys ever seen in your lifetime quantitative easing and rate hikes at the same time? We saw about 2 days ago, the U.S. Federal Reserve added $100 billion of assets to their balance sheet. So they're beginning this process of quantitative easing again, which is basically just the Federal Reserve spending money that they've printed out of thin air, money that you have to pay interest on, to then buy up the economy. They're buying up stocks, bonds, just trying to keep the economy afloat, okay? And this guy's saying we have to do quantitative easing right now. Now, why is it every 3.5 years? That is the median debt maturity for public and private debt post-2009 when everyone reset rates at 0. The system in the US, EU, Japan, and United Kingdom, so some of the biggest Western powers, cannot function without quantitative easing now. We need quantitative easing, and that's why we saw the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve expand by $100 billion yesterday. The end of 2023 and into 2024 is the next debt refinance period, and quantitative easing is needed to fund it. Also, any additional crisis tacks on more quantitative easing. So remember this right here. I can't say it on YouTube. The 19 thing, that didn't help at all. We printed more money in 2020. I don't know if you guys knew this. Comment below. Got a lot of smart subscribers. Maybe you do know this, but do you know how much money was printed in 2020 proportional to the previous 100 years? The same amount. We printed more money in the M2 monetary supply, which is the main money supply that we all use, in 1 year in the previous century. That's a robbery. I think the federal balance sheet gets to 12 trillion or 14 trillion in the next 12 months or so. And he says this chart is extraordinary. This chart right here maps the federal government current expenditures So the interest payments with the Fed balance sheet, okay? So you can see the Fed balance sheet and the interest payments stay pretty similar. They're highly correlated. Why? Because we need that balance sheet to pay off these interest payments. And then if you look at the chart, since COVID-19, can't say it, the chart is pretty much for the past 2 years, interest payments and the Fed balance sheet absolutely mimicking each other. So with the Federal Reserve adding $100 billion to their balance sheet just recently, over the next 2 years, we're probably going to see this increase. And the good news is, I don't think they're going to allow the markets to tank because they don't want a global financial meltdown. They're just going to continue to print money. And the best thing you can do is just make as much fiat as you can and hopefully diversify your investments. I'm not a financial advisor, but if you're watching a video, you're doing research, so you're already on the right path. The inflation is just going to rob more of your purchasing power. So the most you can do is just somewhat get a return. If you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Like I was saying, it's been a great month on the channel. Thank you for all the support. If you made it to the end of the video, let me know you're a loyal supporter by dropping the word inflation in the comment section below. And definitely give me a follow on Twitter. It's in the video description below. And I also have a Telegram chat group. It's free. In the future, it might cost money. We got like 250 people in there. So if you have Telegram, check out our Telegram chat in the video description below. God bless you guys. Hope you had a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Until next time.